Okay.
I was like, whoa. It feels like we've been doing this for about 5 minutes, and it's been 2 months.
That's what we do.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
All right, so last time you all were following up on some leads that you had on these strange Fey-related robberies of arcane materials, the equivalent of spell books, textbooks, sort of unusual things to be stealing. You all managed to follow some leads to the Blackthorn Academy, where some connections that were given to you by Argus and Archie bore fruit in the form of information on a student named Alan Blake. You got his last known home address from the school records, and you were also, after a unusual encounter with Vela Blackthorn, the young rising star of the Blackthorn family, offered to pay you 500 gold marks apiece to resolve this issue soon and quietly. You followed up on Blake's home address. You found I believe we said seventh floor apartment. I want to say third floor. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was high speed scrubbing the last episode, just making sure I had like the main stuff. We're moving right now. It's chaos. So you found his apartment. You found that there was a strange magical signature just sort of flowing around his apartment. Weird combinations of there was a lot of conjuration magic. There was enchantment magic. Very, very unusual. Inside, you found what seemed to be a group of Fey minions who had been left behind to guard the place. They weren't. They were kind of chill. like, they weren't particularly hostile, and even though some stealth rolls did not quite go your all's way, some quick thinking and some excellent charisma checks convinced them to just hang out and learn about this weird human thing called TV while you search the place.
TV.
So you left them channel surfing and walked away with your prize, an invoice for a storage space that Blake seems to be renting not but a few blocks away. So what would you all like to do?
Well, storage space certainly seems like a good lead, especially if it's that close.
But how are we going to get into it?
That
Uh,
guy.
right. We
Pick,
might have it a little covered.
pick the lock, bash the
All
door.
right. How are we going to get in there without people being suspicious?
I
Pearl.
have this thing where I unlock doors sometimes. It's a little weird, but let's try it.
I'm just thinking of the storage center that I used to drive past where we lived previously. And like, there was no way nobody will break into that. Like, so that was where my mental image went.
I could just make myself look like Blake.
Yeah.
It's true.
You have
Worst
seen a
case
variety
scenario,
of
I have
pictures
this-
of him.
I have this PI ID.
Yeah. We'd like to do some investigation here.
All right. So do y'all want to head there right away?
Probably.
Daylight's
so.
burning.
The only other lead we got is that following up with the Fey ambassador, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no telling how long that may take to
Yeah.
get through channels.
Tell you what, if it looks like the storage center is really busy, we'll come back at night and go talk to the Fey ambassador in between.
Sounds
Fine. Let's haul up an old, what is Bessie?
Pokey?
Pokey.
Pokey. Thank you. But there is a car named Bessie, or was a car named Bessie in our lives too. So, but Pokey's
I was close.
the OG.
Just making some things.
Now, I'm guessing if Pokey parked on the road, then we're gonna have to make a 7-point turn.
No, Pokey may not have the best turning radius out there of any car out there, but Pokey doesn't have to do 7-point turns.
Okay. It's a 5-point turn.
So
Not
thankfully, you all weren't in there that long. Your parking meter hasn't run out, so
Okay.
you're easily able to get back in your vehicle and make your way over. You manage to snag a street spot. This area is a little more cleared out. The apartment was in sort of a dense residential area. This is starting to hit that transition point of like residential into commercial. You imagine there's probably a lot of like local students who are stashing stuff here, families who are moving, weird collectors of whatever. So it takes up about the equivalent of not a city block, but it's a wide, mostly flat paved area with a couple of different sections to it, all fenced in together. You see what looks like almost like a miniature apartment tower of small storage spaces. You imagine those are probably the climate controlled. There are some areas that just look like long rows of garages. And you see a slightly larger area that is sort of pseudo commercial storage, maybe for like small businesses and things. And there is a place to drive in. There is someone there sort of just vaguely keeping an eye on things, but they're not like actively barring your way.
The invoice has the number of the unit.
Yes.
You just drive up to the unit.
And I think I will. I'll disguise self into Alan, and I'm gonna. I don't think I've done my.
We haven't done anything today.
Yeah, I don't think I've done my mantle today, so I'm gonna do the advantage on deception as just and just kind of look like student attire from Ravensburg.
All right. I'm going to need some stats, but I imagine it's probably a +0. I'll just roll it. Go ahead and give me a deception check to get a feel for how well your disguise is working for you.
12.
So as you roll up, you see kind of a combination security guard attendant. He doesn't look maybe as burly as a professional security person, but he also looks a little more stout than the usual, like, you know, scrawny desk jockey attendant you might expect. Somewhere in between those. He looks like he's maybe in his late 30s. He's wearing a hat with the storage company brand, and he kind of gives you all a look as you come up, and he sees you and goes, "Oh, Mr. Blake, right?" And he's kind of looking at you funny, like you get sort of a weird. It almost seems like he's immediately gone. Something is strange here. He says, "Mr. Blake, I thought you were already back there. Did you leave and I missed you?"
Yeah, I just had to met some friends just around the block and was guiding them in. We're heading back to the unit now.
Huh. All right. He doesn't seem 100% convinced. And you sort of belatedly realize you made yourself look a little bit more like the student profile picture that you have, which is about 6 months out of date.
Yeah.
Because you saw that progression across the social media of Blake getting like sicklier and scrawnier, and his sort of descent into dissension and unhappiness. And
Sick.
you look too well. Like he's seen this guy recently and knows that this guy is not okay. And you look like you're doing all right, and that is giving him pause. But he's also not expecting disguise magic, so. And if this was a video game, it isn't like the full like exclamation point, like alarms start going off. It's more like that the eye has popped up and is starting to fill just a little bit with yellow. Like, but he just sort of waves you all through, and you get the impression he's kind of like watching on the cameras. He's not going to like follow you, but he's like, all right. All right. Just for fun, let's see. Who's either the driver or the navigator? Give me a survival check.
Shotgun.
I'm definitely in the back, so.
Yeah, the boys are in the back. Survival will land me at dirty 20.
Oh yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah,
You're easily able to sort of look and just sort of figure out. This is urban survival map reading. You're able to kind of figure out how the buildings are numbered, how they're laid out, and you realize the unit number on the invoice in front of you is for one of the large spaces that's sort of further back. So you're heading towards these small, not quite like a warehouse, but maybe like an extra large garage, where you might park like, where you might put like a boat in there or something. It's a larger space, but not massive.
Yeah.
So how do you want to approach?
As we're driving up, as we come in to where we think the door is, can we slow down and see if the door is open?
The door does seem to be shut. And there's nothing particularly unusual from the outside. These places are sort of designed. There's not a lot of windows. They don't want folks to know what's in these places. It would just encourage ill behavior. So it's hard to get a feel from out on the street.
Lexi, just pull straight up. Not next to the door, but like parked at the door.
How big is the door, by the way?
4 cars wide or 3?
The door's probably, 2.5, 3 wide. It looks like you could maybe back up like basically a U-Haul to a space like this if you needed to unload a bunch of stuff. Maybe a food truck, something in that size range. And it looks like it lifts up into the ceiling, is how the door opens.
I want this to work, but I don't think it can. I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and you can tell me whether it would be physically possible or not.
All right.
I would like to cast Minor Illusion so that just inside the door is a perfect image of the door.
I think two things are going to catch you. And also, I think you need line of sight.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
If it doesn't say that, that's a wild absence. No, it doesn't say. But yeah, it would be too large.
How?
Yeah,
Oh wait, but that's not. How much would a door like that cost?
I mean, it's a very sturdy piece of
Might be.
like.
There's just no. There it is.
I am looking up current prices for a garage door on Home Depot.
The things that D&D makes you do.
Yep. We're going to say that this is a very large garage door.
Would it be 60 gold pounds or less?
There's also max medium size.
Oh, it's not gonna work.
I was going to say, I mean, I have no idea what the conversion rate is and the economy of home and business supplies in this world. In our terms, it would be like $800 to $1,000.
Okay.
So
Like, it's not a fancy door, but it is a big, heavy door.
Yeah, that's more than that would cost. Yeah. Okay. I think we're just gonna have to open the door and face it.
yeah.
All right. So y'all just going to head up and lift it up?
I can't decide. Can't decide if I wanna. I've already done once of walking into a space with somebody wearing their face. I don't know if I should be wearing Alan's face when we open the door.
Whose face did you walk in with before?
Archie. I mean, he was a T-Rex.
Right.
So it was a little different, but
we'll make sure you're in the back of the line.
I'm not going to be in the front of the line.
I pull out a giant floppy hat from underneath the floorboards of Pokey
maybe
so
I'll,
that Cyrus can cover his face a little bit.
You just keep the mantle and you just change.
yeah,
your
and keep
face.
the mantle, and then maybe drop back out of.
All right. So, again, we need to lock in an image of Cyrus because I just keep thinking of your D&D Beyond picture and imagining that face now wearing like a college, sweatshirt is weird.
It's basically when you it's Wolverine. When you,
We'll play with that.
Yeah.
The picture definitely has like skeevy rogue, skeevy bard vibes to it. It definitely feels like someone who gets told to leave the college bar because they're not leaving the female patrons alone and is about
Yeah, I see
10
that.
years older, 15 years older than everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I took it mostly for the hairstyle, not
Yeah.
not the face.
But I digress. So you can see there's several handles along the bottom.
Yeah.
You would assume the construction of the door, there's probably it's probably on rails that will assist as you lift it up. So heave ho.
You've
That
had
one, not me.
All right. So with your barbarian bartender strength, you grab two of those handles and just
Heave up.
yeah. It's not even like an 8 strength wizard might struggle with a little. You just easily thoom, goes up exactly the way you want it to. And immediately you are facing several units of shelving.
Right.
Make a
what's your strength score?
8.
Good lord.
make a perception check or a raw intelligence check, and tell me which one you're doing.
Mm.
I'll do raw intelligence because that way I get a +1.
Okay, I'm gonna do perception, and I have to do this the old school way because
And I get a 2.
D&D Beyond's not being nice to me.
Good.
I got
22 intelligence.
22 intelligence.
Yes.
17 perception.
All right.
I got an 8 perception.
All right.
I see shelves.
So Lexi and Oryx kind of you were maybe expecting something more dramatic, and so you don't really register other than that it's just a bunch of shelves. There's boxes on shelves. Zyra and Cyrus, you notice Zyra because you're just very perceptive, and Cyrus because you've encountered things like this before. These shelves have been dragged to intentionally block line of sight to the door, so that if someone walks in, they don't immediately see the rest of this room, and have sort of a facade of normalcy that might distract someone from whatever's taking place further in.
Looks normal to me.
Do you see an edge?
So you're seeing, like, you're walking in on the leftmost side of a square room, where the garage kind of comes in, and it's 3 massive shelving units. You imagine they probably come with the space and can be sort of rearranged, but they all have sort of giant cardboard boxes shoved in, almost to the point where you can't see through it at all. The whole space goes up probably, 20, 30 feet. It's a very high ceiling. Plain concrete, almost featureless along the floor. Cinder block wall. But with that perception check, you hear one or more somethings moving around on the other side of the shelves.
Do the shelves have backs, or it's the cardboard boxes that are keeping the visibility down?
It's the cardboard boxes that are getting in your way.
So is there a path? Like, do we see a path through?
Yes, it's not
Yeah.
like fully blocking.
Okay.
It's really just more line of sight, because as far as you can tell, this is the only way in and out of this room.
Okay.
There's a path.
Sneak it.
It's got a lot of stuff. The shelves come all the way to the door.
All right. So you want to poke your head around? Or are you going to stealth? What's the plan?
Stealth.
Sneaky.
Okay.
Back of line.
All right. So is everyone going to stealth, or do you want to do the send Cyrus plan, or?
No. Zyra got a 23.
Oh, all right.
Natural 20.
I got an 18.
I'm going to stay behind.
Yeah, I'll stay where I am.
All right. I'll no. Hit the passive perception in that room is just not even in that ballpark. So you all are able to kind of poke your head around, and you notice several things. It's hard to say which hits you first. There's a lot of sense information coming off of this room. Maybe the first thing that hits you before you even get your head around the corner is the smell. This space smells bad. And specifically, it smells like someone has been living in here and not leaving for anything. If you catch my drift there. And this seems to be confirmed because in the corner you actually see what looks like a crude like sleeping bag, blanket, maybe an air mattress set up, just shoved in a corner. You see some discarded food containers. You see an ominous-looking bucket that's sort of further away from everything else.
It has a lid, though, right?
You can't tell at this distance.
Okay.
There's still a lot of the room past where you are. You do see what looks like it almost stands out. There's a desk and another smaller set of shelving that is overflowing with books and trinkets and small items. But all of this is sort of washed away for what's in the center of the room. Cyrus, you were the one who used detect magic in the last place, right?
Yeah.
What you saw through detect magic is visible to the naked eye in this room. There is an absurd amount of enchantment and conjuration and transmutation magic just swirling and flowing through the air. You can actually see raw magical energy just gently floating by in streams and just sort of slowly swirling around the center of the room. And actually, as you're looking, as a strand of energy goes by, for just a second, it's like a cutout into a different place. Like someone just peeled back a section of reality, and you're looking through into what looks like a grassy meadow, like on a bright, sunny day. It doesn't look like winter at all. And then it sort of disperses a little, and you lose sight of it.
So it's like the rings from Contact.
I have not watched that, actually.
You have to stop everything and go watch that movie.
All right, y'all. We'll finish this boss fight next week.
Almost everything.
But yeah, it looks like a hole into a different place.
Spoiler alert.
And at the center of it, you see a humanoid figure. From context clues, you would assume that this is Alan Blake. And he looks unwell. He's wearing what looks like very ragged and dirty Blackthorn Academy robes. And you can actually see sort of the different colors attached to part of it. He has a fairly nice sort of accessories in that cream and rose of enchantment. You see that purple and silver of transmutation. But sort of pride of place, he has just a very ragged, like, lowest level black and red evocation. It's the ones you saw that almost look like gym uniforms. But he still seems to be wearing it. But he also looks like he is almost like he has an infection. Make a...
Distended somewhere?
Give me a perception or a medicine check, the two of you who can see.
Perception's going to be 8 plus 6.
14.
14.
So, you can't see exactly what it is, but through these swirling clouds of magic, you catch here and there a glimpse of... It almost looks like patches of something on his skin. Not like red and inflamed like a traditional infection, But there's sections of his skin that are literally, it's almost less about the color, and there's almost a quality of light that is coming off of parts of his skin. And you can actually see his hair is coming in two different colors. It's sort of like long and ragged, but you can see that there is I believe we said he had dark hair. I'm going to roll with it. There's dark hair, but then like there's also patches that are growing in a not even like a peroxide blonde, but like golden. It's like a hair conditioner commercial. It's just this radiant, beautiful golden hair, but it's like mixed in a way that doesn't look healthy or natural. And you can actually see there's something dripping off of him in places.
Is it the light or is it dark or
The room as a whole?
no? What's dripping off?
What's dripping off of him? It's too hard to see at this distance.
Is it liquid or solid? Like, is it like look like it might be part of his skin?
It seems liquid.
Okay.
And kind of catching sight of him, you can see this whole cloud is swirling around him. And actually this the cloud seems to be, these streamers of magic are birthed out of this vapor that's just pouring off of him and the space around him. And you can see that he's holding something, and he seems to be like deep in concentration. His eyes are open, but they're kind of empty. And it seems like he's maybe in the midst of some spell or ritual.
Okay.
So I can't see anything but their facial expressions. But based on their facial expressions, it's disgusting.
Not good.
Yeah.
So how far is Blake from us? Ish.
Oh, let me pull out their measuring tool. He is about 40 feet away.
Okay.
And how far?
Big storage unit.
Yeah, this is a large space.
How far are we from the bed?
The bed, from where you're standing, is almost 50 feet. You're sort of in the opposite corner of the bed.
Okay.
The room is approximately an 80-foot cube.
Okay. Or we're like 20 feet in from the bookcases.
Yes, you're about 20 feet from the door. You're kind of peeking around the bookcases.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to pop out my mage hand over next to Oryx and like tug on his sleeve and give him a wave him up motion.
I will attempt to sneak forward.
Do I need to do this as well?
And oh, come on, that was cocked. That doesn't count. 11.
It does look cocked on the screen.
I know. I don't understand why they allow digital dice to be cocked. It is purely a programming choice.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's no such thing as oh shit. What is it? Objective programming.
yeah, it's
Is objective programming.
it's a weird choice to program into the physics.
Yeah.
Someone must have really insisted on cocked dice.
Yeah.
And it just got stuck in the corner of the browser.
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of move up, and you see about the same thing they did. You specifically make a Give me your best of perception or history.
Perception or history? All right, well, that'll be history then. With a whopping 4.
Good lord.
Something in this room feels familiar, but you can't figure out what. But you have like a weird nostalgia. Somewhere in that intersect of nostalgia and deja vu as you're standing here.
And standing here trying to figure it out, and all I can tell is that, well, that's not Sealy through there. Or at least it doesn't feel like home.
All right. So, Lexi, did you come up too? If not,
I haven't, but I can.
I'll wave you up too.
Okay. Well, shit. That was a 3.
All right. We're gonna...
Lexi trips and face plants and yells and curses as she does it.
Even though her score is better, are we surprised the barbarian can't sneak?
The barbarian has +2 in stealth.
I've only got +1.
So, as you come forward, you accidentally, like, just make a little bit of noise. But this room is there's a cavernous quality to it. And that little bit of noise echoes. And so as you come forward and sort of take a look around, the rest of you all see when that noise is made, something that was sort of mingled in with this swirling cloud of magic suddenly like breaks off and is sort of zipping around independently. And you realize it's some kind of small fey creature and that is moving towards the sound.
Well,
Moving towards the sound.
Yeah.
Okay. My brain heard sink, and I was like, you didn't say anything about there being a sink in there.
it's the bucket.
It's the bucket.
Oh.
Yeah.
How fast is it moving?
It's a good pace.
Can you get out of the air?
And how far was Lexi from us when the noise happened?
I mean, you all aren't that deep into the room. She was only moving like 10 or 15 feet forward, so it's pretty much heading towards you all.
Everybody huddled together. Minor illusion will look like an extension of the shelf.
Okay.
Can we both do it to cover? So that like
2
what
5-foot
you
cubes.
do side by side, 5-foot sections.
All right, what I'm going to do is have you all... Either both of you can roll deception, or one of you can roll with advantage.
Let's both roll.
I've got 5.
I've got a +3, so I rolled a 7.
It was almost on a 14. Like, it's bull.
I got a dirty 20.
All right. So you
Our
see
shelf
this...
is in front.
What?
Our shelf is in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see this thing coming towards you, and very smoothly you're able to just sort of sweep up this illusion, and you see the light kind of pause for a second.
It didn't put that shelf there.
And then it sort of goes back to what it's doing, but it's hard to say with a small gleaming ball of light, but you kind of feel like as it circulates now, every so often it kind of stops and like looks at that corner like...
Something is wrong.
If a ball of light could be quizzical.
Do I recognize the ball of light?
Make a history check.
I thought you were putting the digital dice in timeout.
I was putting the
Oh, but they rolled well.
18.
You do not recognize this ball of light.
Okay.
It's not Mort's cousin Mindy.
No, you do notice though, like you do gather it is. These balls of light look like the pixies and sprites that you encountered earlier.
So this one doesn't owe me money.
No.
Has Blake reacted at all, or is he still?
He seems to be like locked in this. Yeah, there's a very bad quality to whatever he's experiencing. Like, you gather that this is not a situation you yourself would like to be in. So what do you do?
I would like to make an Arcana check to try and figure out more what's going on with all the swirling magic in the room.
All right, roll it.
Like I said, the digital dice are in timeout. So that's a 22.
All right.
Thank you, blue die.
So some of it still escapes you. Whatever's happening here is pretty intense. You've passed through a gate between fairy and the human world before, and you have a vague idea of what sort of the principles of that are like. Something like that is happening here, but not in a way that you would have expected or have ever seen before. But some flavor of that seems to be happening.
Would it make sense to heal Blake?
Make an Arcana or Medicine check.
It's going to be medicine this time. Oh, 8.
You don't have any idea what's up with him. It's weird because these unusual patches on his body, the patches themselves don't look unhealthy, but the sort of jarring contrast between the patches and the rest of him suggests something more dire than simple healing would fix.
Does it almost look like the patches are almost the only thing that's healthy in a way? Like his normal self is not healthy?
Yeah. You just have sort of a moment of insight. The patches don't look like him. The parts of him that look like what you've seen before look very ill. He looks drained. He looks sick. Those patches are like radiantly healthy, almost like supernaturally youthful and vibrant, and again, it's not even like, if it was a totally different color or something, it'd be really clear. He's a really pale guy. These are really pale patches. But it's such a stark difference that even at like 30 or 40 feet away, you can tell the difference from one to the next.
So, do we need to stop the magic thing? Do we stop the magic thing by knocking him out?
I mean, just based on what I can tell, it looks like he might be trying to summon more Fae to be servants or something, and that would not be a nice thing.
Deal with the glowing ball of light first, or go straight at him?
Just to clarify the sort of amount of space you're looking at, if he is conscious and responsive to things happening around him, he's going to see you go after the ball of light.
Yeah.
Well, ball of light will go down fast if we can hit it.
Let's aim at the ball of light. But yeah, so it'll be up to the DM's discretion as to what happens when we attack the ball of light.
Just to stop it from being utter chaos, I would say that probably one of you can get off a shot at this ball of light before everything's going to go to initiative. So you get your one surprise shot. They're very actively like moving around the room.
I vote I do dissonant whispers.
Okay. Is it just the one ball of light?
You've only seen one. But it was indistinguishable until it removed itself from those swirling clouds of magic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's either dissonant whispers or I go for sneak attack.
I agree with one of those two options, and I will keep an eye on the rest of the swirling magic. And if more balls of light come out, I will magic missile.
So if you want to go for dissonant.
I think dissonant.
Okay.
Yeah. Dissonance.
All right. Is that a saving throw?
Yeah. It needs to make a wisdom saving throw, and its wisdom save is 14.
Ooh. It only gets a 4, so what's that going to do?
3d6 psychic damage.
Ooh. Oh, wait. Let me double check something. Nope, I accidentally cleared it. Oh, well. All right. The ball of light immediately out of existence.
Shit. And it's a max roll. -1.
I mean, it's gone. It's immediately like you splinter this thing into a cloud of fairy dust. Everybody roll initiative.
The poor thing.
Yeah, I remember from last time. They have 1 hit point. Okay. Lexi, who will be right back, got a 14, and I got an 18.
All right.
Zara's going last with a 9.
I also got a 9.
Oh, let me.
Oh.
We got a 9 with identical rolls.
Yes.
All right. So right at the very top, I'm going to have Oryx on initiative 20 roll a d6.
Ruh-roh. 2.
2. All right. There is a flicker in like the whole room. Like the whole room sort of like almost like TV static for a second, like shh, 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 and that's it.
Right.
Then it is Oryx's turn.
That's not like, bad at all. It's totally nothing's gonna happen.
Okay, so presumably he has noticed that the pixie is poofed.
Honestly, make an insight check.
Oh, good. Insight check.
This dude has no clue what's going on.
A whole 10.
You genuinely can't tell.
I'm gonna delay. Honestly.
All right. So 5e is a little weird. You can't fully delay and drop into a different place in the initiative. You have to hold a specific action.
In that case, I will hold a firebolt, the trigger being him attacking.
All right. When he attacks, Oracle Firebolt. Continuing down the initiative is Lexi. Lots of low rolls.
Lexi has no clue what's going on. Lexi sees a dude who is clearly in the middle of something and doesn't know what's going on. So I'm thinking the same thing, that I kind of want to see what he's going to do. So I guess my action delay is to have my mallet out ready for a hit.
All right.
If I can do that.
Just to clarify, you'll have to close to melee range with him, or
then I'll
react
move.
to something coming
I forgot
at you.
how far I was. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still a good. You are still a good 30 or 40 feet away.
Okay. Well, my walking speed is 30 feet, so I will move up to where the rest of them are.
No, you'll need to move to
Away
within.
from us.
If you're depending on who you're trying to attack, you'll either need to move within melee of, because I did miss which key, either the ball of light or
Ball of light.
Yeah, ball of light's gone.
Okay, so Oryx is moving up and holding a firebolt against Blake.
Yeah.
Oryx is not moving up at all. Oryx
Okay,
just.
okay. So Oryx is holding.
So
I didn't. Okay, so Oryx is holding a firebolt against Blake, and so Lexi is moving up to melee range with Blake.
yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
But out of direct line of sight of you guys, so that you can get a hit and not hit me.
On the side.
Yeah.
That's where I came from.
All right.
Yeah.
So-
Lexi has learned enough at this point.
So you're the first one to get an up close view of Alan Blake, and you're actually able to sort of piece together, unfortunate choice of words, a little bit of what's happening when you're this close. Alan looks like two different people trying to inhabit the same space.
Oh.
One of them is a very sickly, pale, unwell, magic college student. The other you can't see enough of, but you can actually like visibly see, like there's a patch of his face that is a different set of features.
He's Coral Mort.
He's what?
Coral Mort. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. He's Coral Voldemort.
Well, and even more piecemeal than that.
Yeah. That's...
Like literally, like a section of his face is a different person, and it's someone with a more angular.
Feyla?
Yeah, it's more angular, more. And again, there's like a radiant quality to it. And you can actually see there's like big swaths of his body, and like you can see like part of his hand. What would be sort of the seams, it's like he's bleeding opalescent light as a liquid from all of these places where the different persons are meshing.
Yeah, that's gonna be not cool.
Oh, you sweet summer child. What dumb mistake did you make?
You can also see that he's sort of bent over and clutching something. All right. At the end of your turn, a dice is rolled. 2 more globes of light seem to... It almost looks like they emerge from his body or the space around him and swirl into this cloud of magic. All right. That was the end of your turn. Now one of the magic floating spheres of light is going to fly towards Lexi. So as this ball of light streaks towards you, you specifically wanted to attack Blake if he attacks, right? Because you wanted the same setup as Oryx.
Well, that was my thought. Not, and I'm thinking in terms of what would Lexi do. Lexi would probably attack the first thing that comes at her. So while Blake was my original intention, I'm wondering, I feel like Lexi would see something flying at her and attack.
Okay.
So Oryx's trigger is Blake attacking somebody. Lexi's trigger is anything attacking me.
Attacking me.
All right. In that case, make an attack roll.
All right.
I can see that.
18.
Nice.
You pulp this ball of light, and there's a splat of like glittering liquid up against the wall, and this thing's just gone.
Lexi does not do well with bugs in her bar, so this is completely normal for her.
I'm not sure I'm okay with this.
All right, it is Cyrus's turn.
All right.
Unless you want me to cast.
She's a barbarian, honey. She just
light.
attacks things. I realize they might have been your friend.
No, Zyra's going to cast Vicious Mockery on the ball of light.
The one remaining ball of light.
So as of right now, there are... It's actually kind of hard to tell how many there are. You're seeing 3-ish, but they're sort of moving within that swirl.
Oh.
But you'd like to attack one of them?
Yeah.
Vicious Mockery.
It's a wisdom save of 14 again.
All right.
Do I need to roll it?
It fails its saving throw.
Is it 1 HP or do I need to roll a d4?
Just for giggles, I want to have you roll.
Okay. 3.
All right. You blow this thing away with this word magic, and it just... All right. We are... do you want to do anything else with your turn?
Verify. There's no worth in you.
So that was your action.
I'm going to stay where I am.
All right. Then it is Cyrus's turn.
Unless you want to inspire, I guess.
Oh, and Cyrus gets a d6.
All right. And yours is the fancy D6, right?
With the fun, exciting things. There's now a small... Don't attack the moat, because something might happen. You don't know what.
There's so many balls of light.
You can tell this is different.
All right.
You have a d6. No clue what you're doing.
No, Cyrus is just going to be different than the rest of you and is just going to go do his thing.
Cool, go for it.
So I want to hex Blake, targeting strength.
All right.
And I'm going to shoot him.
I dropped the motive potential text. Whoops. Apparently I sent it directly to Oryx for some reason.
I have it in my thing. Oh, okay.
And it cut off a word. There we go. Okay, so Blake is now hexed. What else do you want to do?
So I'm gonna shoot him.
All right.
I got a 15.
Roll again.
$22.
Whew. All right. So you line up the shot, and you're not sure what cued you to it. It was almost like your hex. You know it found its target, but that visual that you've seen these last few times of this sort of sweeping cloud of crows or ravens, it's like it went to the wrong spot. But you know it connected. And so you kind of waver for a second, and you follow your hex, and you release it, and you see an illusion of Blake vanish in the center of the room. And you hit him, and he's actually sitting like 3 feet further to the side than what you had seen. So go ahead and roll your damage.
He's not engaged with Lexi then, so it's not sneak, right?
He was not engaged with me now.
No.
Or I didn't engage.
Also, is there language about disadvantage in sneak attack?
Oh yeah, I think if you've got disadvantage, I think any source of disadvantage you cannot. I think it.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, so that was a disadvantage roll. So you roll normal damage.
Okay. All right, so 4 piercing, then 3 necrotic.
All right.
What's up?
Your arrow shatters through this illusion. It hits him, and for the first time you see him react. And he's still holding something in one of his hands, but the other like clutches his shoulder where this arrow just struck him. And you can see that crimson blood and this opalescent blood are both sort of flowing out of this wound. All right, do you want to do anything else?
I'm gonna. I don't know. There's 3 of us kind of clumped together, so I want to strafe to a kind of strafe to a side.
All right. Would you rather go further in towards the bed, or continue sort of along the line of shelves towards the center?
Don't really need to be. Wait, which of those is one of those putting me closer to Blake or the magic?
Yes. If you strafe along the shelves, you'll end up closer to Blake and the magic.
Okay, then I'm gonna go towards the bed.
Okay. All right. You sort of strafe your way up and break apart that tight cluster there. Your moat of potential trailing behind you. All right. Puts us down to some balls of light. Surviving balls of light. They are not overjoyed at Lexi's sudden disruption of whatever's happening here. And so you can see now there's 3 balls of light, and they spiral out of this cloud and just start attacking you from all sides. And it's hard to see through the light. This is a larger ball of light, but there's tiny like little They almost look like darts coming out of these clouds at you. Oops. I don't know why I had them move to shoot you with a ranged attack. That was silly. All right. First one, yikes, gets a 25 to hit. Guessing that hits.
Yeah.
Good news, you take 1 point of damage.
Oh, very nice.
Bad news, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, gee, a Constitution save for a barbarian.
Where's
Over there?
right here?
Yes.
There it is. That's a 21.
All right. Second one shoots at you. Gets another 25. Make another Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
That was a 7.
So you feel this dart hit you, and it's almost like the dart dissolves into the wound. Like it turns into like glittering dust, and you feel yourself getting
Sleeping.
you almost feel like you're going to throw up.
Oh, wonderful.
You have the poisoned condition for a minute, and the last one shoots at you and gets a 20 to hit.
Okay. So that hits as well.
So that's another 1 point of damage. They're not heavy hitters, but you need to make another Constitution saving throw.
That was a 9.
That's okay. You're still poisoned, but nothing else happens.
Oh, that's a relief.
doubly poisoned somehow.
Doubly poisoned.
All right. Blake finally seems to like... He got hit, and he kind of like cowered out. And now he looks up, and you can see that one of his eyes has a brown... he has one brown eye that just sort of looks bloodshot. The other is sort of like a solid gleaming gold. Like there's a tiny star in his face. He is going to... He does not like having Lexi in his face. You see him take this thing that he's had in his hand, and as he pulls it out into view, you see that it is a rod. And it seems to be both... it has like a core of iron, but it's wrapped in silver and has a silver hilt to it. It almost looks like a mace with no like club to the end, no head. And he swings it up, and as it swings through the air, you see all of the mist in the room, almost like an invisible wind, and it sort of pulls along in the wake of this rod. And he turns and he points it at you. And Lexi, you need to make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Firebolt.
Well, that's a 15, so that's better than it could have been.
Ooh, you do save.
Yes.
You do see that when he casts this spell, some of the energy of the rod doesn't disperse. It almost seems to flow down into him. And you actually see one of the patches grows a little bit on his arm, spraying more of this shimmering blood. And you can see that some of that energy is lingering around him.
Oh, you fool.
All right. On initiative 20, I'm going to have Zyra roll a 1d6.
That also triggered my firebolt, but I got a 10 on the attack.
Yep, you're right.
That's why I hex strength if we want to try to rip that rod away from him.
5.
Sorry, I tend to ask for something and then flip away, and so I don't catch visual cues always.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. 5.
5. All right.
All I can do is see you, so I'll say it next time.
Let's see. On initiative 20, there's that crackle again. That and then it almost like it's like the whole room goes at a diagonal for a second and then rights itself, and you actually see those patches on Blake grow again, and this time you can see it seems to hurt him, whatever this was. Something unfortunate seems to be happening to him. All right. That takes us back to the top. That is Oryx's turn.
All right. And there are still 3 motes floating around? 3 pixies?
There are 3 motes.
All right. Then I will quickened cast magic missile, so that's going to be 3 missiles, 1 for each pixie.
All right.
Do I even need to roll damage?
In that case, you do not. They and are gone.
And then, so that's quickened cast, so that's a bonus action. And then with my normal action, I will firebolt Blake again.
All right. Roll it.
And that one will be a 25 to hit.
Whoa!
25 will probably hit. Roll damage.
Here we go. 5 damage. That's okay.
All right. At the end of your turn... Oh, sorry. Do you want to do anything else?
I think I will close, but not into melee range.
All right.
So maybe 10 feet away from him.
Yeah, if Lexi hits him.
So you move closer, and he gets hit by this fiery bolt, and he turns and looks at you, and he swings the rod in your direction. Make another firebolt attack roll.
Really? Okay. That's a crit.
You feel a searing pain on the back of your neck for just a second, and that same hand that was still outstretched from the firebolt is suddenly like wrenched to the side, and you fire this almost like overpowered firebolt right into Lexi's back.
Thanks, dude.
So go ahead and roll your damage.
Thanks. Guess he's sleeping on the couch tonight.
12 damage.
God damn it.
His attack, or if he has some measure of control over Oryx, because Oryx
You're definitely going to want to rage.
Yeah, I was already planning on that, but now I'm definitely going to want to rage.
Both mechanically and literally.
Oryx gets to ride in the trunk on the way home. He doesn't get to be in the vehicle.
Oryx can be strapped to the roof.
Actually, that's even better. Oryx going to be strapped to the roof. Like the escargot.
All right, and it is your turn.
Girl is pissed, so she rages. And if I remember correctly, I need to equip the add effects.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Just pop all that into place.
All right. So I'm doing that. And then I'm going to take my Ancient Brewer's Mallet, and Oryx is very lucky I'm not going to hit him. I'm going to hit Blake.
All right, roll it.
So that's an 18.
Now you get to roll it again.
That's right. Well, that's an 11.
So you see this same strange effect again. You go to swing through the space, and there's a flicker, and your brain isn't quite sure how to resolve what you just saw. Like, you definitely should have connected with your mallet, but it's like the second your mallet was going to hit, Blake was standing somewhere else. Not far, but like a good 1.5 feet to the side.
So he's teleporting now.
Whoever wants to, now that you've seen it a few times, make an Arcana check.
It's not teleporting. That's
12.
11.
11.
17.
All right. Zyra, you're the only one who catches this. And possibly because you have just spent so much time learning about, in this case, fairy tales and folklore. You know that the Fae are almost as a universal trait have some facility with illusion magic.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like you just saw something that looks like the displacement effect. Something that Blake is doing is affecting your all's ability to perceive him where he actually is. It's a very common tool for Fae hunting and scouting parties. All right. That was Lexi's turn. You raged, you attacked. Do you want to move?
I might back up a few steps out of his face, especially because of that, but otherwise I'm not backing up that far.
All right. So do you want to actually move like a whole 5 feet, or?
Because he might get to swing at you if you leave.
That's true. Yeah, I'll go ahead and move a whole 5 feet, so I'm out of melee.
Well, if you move that far, he can do an opportunity attack.
Oh, he can. Okay. No, then I'm not going to move that far.
Okay.
It's more like just kind of like a step back.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be sure. I was like, okay, is this a descriptive element or is this mechanically like?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That brings us down to Cyrus and Zyra.
Zyra's going to cast Dissonant Whispers on Blake.
All right.
He needs to make a Wisdom save of 14.
All right. He is going to burn a legendary resistance.
Cool. So, still takes half as much damage.
All right.
Half of 11 is 5.
You see him kind of reel.
And doesn't have to move away.
Anything else you want to do?
And I'm going to remain where I am and also give another Bardic Inspiration mote to Lexi.
All right. At the end of your turn, Oryx, you feel the back of your neck burning again, and you turn your flaming claw towards Cyrus. Roll another firebolt.
Why are they rolling well now?
I was doing that.
25.
I kind of actually moved away from the person with the burning claw.
All right.
Let's just assume I've moved away from the person with the burning claw.
Well, it looks like he moved himself away last turn. He put himself closer to mid-range.
Oh, no. Then I'm where I am. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're at a good distance.
Yeah, I'm good.
25.
Guessing that'll hit. So roll damage.
Oh, 4 damage.
All right. And then Cyrus need to roll concentration on Hex.
14.
All right. You maintain concentration. Lexi, because you're so close, you can actually hear Blake is continuously muttering under his breath. And I'm not going to try and do it because he's switching back and forth between common and you speak Sylvan, right?
I believe I do, yes.
Okay. It's a little hard to sort of mentally translate it because it's not consistent usage. It's like
Right.
a few words of a sentence in common, then to Sylvan, and then back. And a lot of it is just sort of nonsense muttering. But you definitely catch that he's just sort of blurring these languages together. All right. That was...
In
oh,
grammatic order or not?
say it again.
In grammatic order?
It's almost got like a like franglais quality to it. Like sometimes the word order will be for common, but then the actual like noun will be in Sylvan, or it'll start in Sylvan and it'll use sort of the Sylvan sentence structure but drop common words into it.
Okay, so if you were to understand both languages, you would actually be able to understand it.
Yes, it might take you just a second because it's sort of rapid fire switching back and forth.
Yeah. So Spanglish,
Yeah.
or the language I speak occasionally, which is Swahili.
All right, that was that was the
That
end
was-
of Lexi's turn. No, end of Zyra's.
It's me.
It's our
Okay,
sister.
there we go.
Can I use my mage hand bonus action to try to grapple the rod? Can my mage hand do that?
You are an arcane trickster, and so your mage hand is a little bit different.
Oh.
Let's see. It says stow or retrieve objects, use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range.
And it says I can manipulate an object.
I think where I would come down is you could try and make let me double check the wording. I think in this case he's got his hand on it. Like
Okay.
if it was in like his pocket or something, I think
Yeah.
mage hand your mage hand is perfect. But it's just not strong. Yours is dexterous, but you're having to like I mean, he's holding this in a death grip. Like white knuckle like
Yeah. Okay.
More than 10 pounds.
yeah.
All right. So, in that case, I'm going to steady aim for advantage
All right.
and shoot him.
All right. Yeah, so that'll be a flat roll. But he is engaged with Lexi now.
So that's an 18 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that you'll be able to get sneak attack.
Yeah, I should by canceling the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Since he's engaged. So that's 5 plus where's 5 plus 11, so 16 piercing, and then five necrotic for a total of 21.
You take a pretty good chunk out of him. So
Damage he's been done.
Zyra, did you go?
I did the 5 wisdom damage.
Okay.
Psychic.
Yeah, I got him for a little, and Joe got him for a little
Okay.
last turn. So
All right. There are currently no moats, so we drop down to Blake himself. And
more than 30, less than 40.
I think he's going to try this again. Alexi, make another intelligence saving throw.
Trying to figure out. Sleep with now. Sleep's now.
10.
All right.
You've got inspiration if you want to try it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Saving throw. You
So just throw roll a d8.
Or 6.
d6.
6. Now I have 11.
Okay.
Oh.
You also
I think you get temporary hit points.
you get
Get
4 temporary hit points.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what that means, so.
So temporary hit points get removed before regular hit points.
Okay. Okay.
In video game terms, it'd be like having a shield.
Okay.
But you get +4. It's not technically a heal. What it is, you have +4 now.
Okay. I get you.
All right.
Basically, those will go first before
Yeah.
I take any damage.
Which
And they
will
don't
be
stack with themselves.
intelligence save is turning her against
That's
us,
true.
but
Well,
it was worth it.
Yeah, so Blake brings his rod up again, and you can see now as he swings it, there's sort of opalescent energy that runs down the silver, but where the energy passes across the core of iron on the end of it, it flares with this like oily, dirty fire, and like runes light up around it. And when it swings across you, you suddenly feel paranoid. You feel afraid. You feel attacked. You feel like everyone is out to get you.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
All right.
does she have to take any actions with that?
I don't think she does yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're on initiative 20. So in this case, just for fun, Lexi, roll a d6.
One.
Man, I gotta quit using this mechanic. Once again, you see the whole room, and nothing happens.
Well, at least that's not out to get me. Yet.
I should know better. I did something like this with another group, and they managed to roll like the same 2 options over and over and over out of like 6.
Yeah.
And then the options had sub options, and they didn't get to see any of them. All right. It is Oryx's turn.
All right. So even if I was not able to figure out with my Arcana check what's going on, I have seen him displacing himself.
I was like, has he?
So the visual cue of what you've been seeing is that when something seems to hit him, it's like he's standing somewhere else.
Right.
Without a sufficiently high Arcana check, it's hard to tell if that is an illusory effect or actual teleportation.
Okay. And he's never been too terribly far from the like the displacement hasn't been too terribly far.
No, it's like maybe a foot.
Perfect. I will. Yeah, I'll close to melee range because why not? And then angle my burning hands so that Lexi is not included.
All right.
Good luck with that.
So he'll make a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity save of 14. And actually, I'm going to upcast it to a level 2 spell to give me an extra damage die.
All right. He rolls a 19.
All right. So then he will take half of... Really? 3 2s into 1. He takes 3 damage.
Dude.
4d6. I rolled 3 2s into 1.
D6s, man. They're just not doing it.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
Scream at him in Dwarvish, because why not?
Just anger. So much anger.
All right.
Actually, can
Okay.
I make any sort of check to see what's going on with him with the patches?
Sure. Go ahead and make Arcana or Medicine.
All right, well, definitely not medicine then.
See,
Okay, an 11 on Arcana.
You're getting some of the same info. It looks like he has some kind of magical patches on his skin that are growing. You gather that the intersect of those and the rest of his body are not good for him. He seems to be bleeding various colors of blood. And there's definitely a different quality to it. You would know this. The patches don't look human. They look fey. All right. Now fun stuff happens. So at the end of Oryx's turn, you see him wave the rod again, and you feel that, and you're wrenched around, and you unleash another firebolt. This time it's Zyra.
Oh dear.
Well, that's a natural 1.
Well, that's good.
I set a box on fire.
Well, shit. Now we have to call the fire department.
Actually, you're lucky. The angle, it just hits one of those cinder block walls.
Oh, good. No fire department yet.
All right. On Lexi's turn, you feel this overwhelming sense of fear and paranoia, and Oryx is right there, and he keeps flinging fire at people, and he's so close. He's going to light you on fire. He's definitely going to do it.
So I hit him?
Roll percentile.
Okay.
Look at the 2d10.
This one here. Yeah.
Trust this dragon anyway.
25.
Roll an attack.
Oh, shit. It was a nat 20.
Oryx falls down.
why are our two
Oryx
crits
falls
against
down.
party members?
All right. Yeah.
And that's the Ace of Brewer's Mallet, so we got some acid going.
Gee, thanks.
That's what you get. You reap what you sow.
You hear this voice in your head that it almost sounds like your own sort of internal voice. And you're just hearing it. He shot me. He shot me in the back. He shot me with fire. I can't let him stand next to me. He'll light me on fire. I have to stop him. Wham! And you just don't even see it coming. You think that you're like moving up to support Lexi, and she just turns and just your whole world goes dark for a second. How much?
It's like swinging a baseball bat and you're the ball.
How much damage is that?
How much damage? I have not hit damage. Let's see here.
Because that's also going to trigger the.
Damn it!
Yeah, my world goes dark for more than a second. I had 16 hit points after that Fire of Vela.
You are gone.
Yeah, and does that include the critical acid bonus?
No.
It doesn't matter. I'm
Yeah,
in negatives.
so-
now.
Yeah.
So Oryx,
It doesn't need to.
you all look on in horror as this spell works on Lexi's mind, and you expect her to. She's about to take out Blake and finish this, and instead you watch her just wham. It's the mallet from Smash Brothers, just wham, wham, and Oryx.
Oryx is down.
Launches into the ceiling and bounces onto the ground.
Skyrim physics.
Basically.
All right. Well, the good news is Oryx can't keep shooting you.
Silver
I
lining.
solved my problem!
Let me double check the wording of the spell.
Were Lexi thinking in normal terms, this is where she would grab Oryx's body and drag him physically to the trunk of Pokey for him to sleep it off.
All right. You can use the rest of your turn however you'd like.
Okay. Let's see.
So your attack has already been taken.
My attack's already been taken, so my only bonus action is to rage,
Which you're already doing.
which I'm already doing, so I don't even know. No, I don't have anything else I can do, really.
Can she physically slam into Blake? Or is that an
Maybe?
It would.
I can unarmed attack.
It would.
That must be an action. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bonus action, it says actions in combat, 2-weapon fighting.
Yeah,
What is?
you're using the one.
Oh,
If you had
because
one
I'm.
each
Oh,
hand.
I've had one in each hand. Okay, that makes sense.
Pokey.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't see nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to move away from him, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd love to just like body slam him, but doesn't look like I can. So next round.
All right. So that brings us down. That person's not alive. It is Cyrus's turn.
All right. So does Lexi still count as an? She's not like charmed, so she still counts as Blake's enemy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The phrasing of the spell is that right now she is everyone's enemy.
Okay. Perfect. So she still counts for sneak attack. So I'm gonna steady aim and shoot him again.
Oh, because that's when your foes are engaged with
If
the foes' enemies.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just says enemy of the target, so that
Yep.
that covers you.
Okay. So that's another 18
Um,
to hit.
let's see. Last turn he cast. Are you using steady aim?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was like, wait a second. Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. Can't decide if I should like. No, I'll save it. I don't want to trigger the Bardic Inspiration. I can't. I could trigger the Bardic Inspiration for extra damage, but I kind of want to save it for when I'm not sure if I'm going to hit too. You know.
I would do the extra damage.
You would go ahead.
Any extra damage lets me do sleep.
Okay. All right. So just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and use my Bardic Inspiration anyway.
Have you rolled damage already?
No, but I got to say that now.
Oh,
I got to announce using Bardic Inspiration before I roll damage.
do you?
Yes. Because it's part of the attack.
Yeah, it goes to the attack roll and then adds damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's either save it for next turn in case we
Right.
think he'll still be up, and in
Uh,
case I need to hit,
okay.
or
Whatever.
All right, so 18 to hit. 6.
Are you doing it?
8.
Colby, they'll need Blake will need to make a DC 13 con save.
All right. So 22 damage total.
Yes. Yeah, he took 22 damage from the shot, and then he'll add this.
Well, he got a nat 20 on that saving throw.
Oh, well, then doesn't take the thunder damage.
He rolled a 20 and a 1, and I wasn't sure which one was the advantage die and which one was the primary die. Because it rolls both, even if it's not advantage. And so I was like, something's about to happen. All right. He looks very badly injured.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So was Zyra going before or after you?
Well, we were tied, so I was going to go first this round,
Okay.
and
All
now
right.
she's...
So Zyra, what you doing?
Zara's upcasting sleep.
All right.
78. Sure. No, I can't count. 78 is not 8d8.
True.
There. And I'm targeting it just at like 26.
26. All right.
Yeah, points does Blake have?
Yeah, you could hit him separately. You see Blake fall asleep.
Awesome.
But y'all is still in initiative.
That's fine. Ooh.
So, do you want to do anything else in your turn?
Um. No.
All right. On initiative 20. Is,
Why are you looking so pitiful?
Because he's knocked out.
There's just a dying dragon on the floor.
Right. Yeah, I forgot.
It's fine. I'll just put the trunk.
so on initiative 20, is Cyrus the only one who's not rolled a d6?
Yes.
Okay, roll a d6.
1.
What is wrong with you people? The room still, but nothing happens. So you all are. There's no one actively fighting you, but you're still sort of on initiative time.
Okay.
Still raging.
Is Lexi still...
No, he would have
Yeah.
lost concentration.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. That was my worry, was it was all of a sudden...
Yeah, I thought I was going to turn on you guys suddenly.
Yeah, he's been rolling really well to keep his concentration up through all of that.
Yeah.
And there's no 1 minute, no saves, right?
On sleep?
On
Yeah.
sleep?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So he's gonna sleep through his turn. That happens. Oryx, death saving throw.
Death save. That's a 12.
All right, one success. You are clinging to life. Lexi, what would you like to do?
Oh gosh. Well, since he's asleep,
Take the rod away.
Take the rod away.
yeah, I'm gonna grab the rod.
All right.
Cover your hand with something.
That's good thing. Maybe I will very gently use my mallet to kind of like knock it away so that I'm not touching it. You know, like you do with a golf ball and a golf club. Just kind of
Make an athletics check.
oh good.
You have advantage.
I have advantage on that. So that was a 16.
All right. You do manage to get it away from his hand. It's a close thing though. He's like even unconscious. He's like death gripping it. But you manage to kind of until you roll it out of his hand. Your rage will drop at the end of your turn though.
Okay. That's all right.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Find a towel.
All right. It is Cyrus's turn, or Zyra.
All right, so I want to mage hand, and can I mage? I'm gonna mage hand the rod now.
Yeah, no problem.
And I guess like I don't know, like fly it over to me and inspect it.
All right. You're able to take sort of a cursory glance, and the design of it looks very much like a thick, ugly bar of cold iron that has been very delicately wrapped in this glimmering silver.
Okay.
Almost like it's been wrapped so intricately around the base of it that it forms like a hilt where someone would be able to grab it without touching the iron. And then it almost sweeps up and around the iron like a lattice or a cage of silver, very tight to the surface of the iron as it goes up. You can still see sort of faintly glowing red runes along the edges. And the runes are in a either Sylvan or Elvish script. And that's about all you can get from that. All right, it is Zyra's turn.
That's all I wanted to do. Is that?
I think that was all I could do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You want to bring Oryx back to you?
yeah, actually, I do.
Nah, you can stay on the floor.
I'm not in trouble yet. I still have to make 3 failed death saves.
Sure. I'm gonna. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna healing word.
Thank you.
I'm only bringing you back though. I'm not gonna actually.
I'm not dead yet.
However, it's a max roll, so you get 7 hit points.
He's
Congrats.
not dead yet.
And
Yes.
with my action, can I? I probably don't have this much movement. But I want to get a blanket and go put it on top of Blake.
Let's see. If you were to dash, you could get over and pull one from the bed in the corner.
Would that picking a blanket up count as enough of less of a movement action thing to do all that?
You could probably get over there and pick it up as one action move combo.
Cool. I'm gonna do that.
It does smell very bad.
It's still. I'm covering the poor boy.
All right. That is your turn. Cyrus mage-handed. Blake is still out. All right. Back to the top. Oryx, roll a d6.
2.
All right. Once again,
Should I
the
pretend it
room.
was a 3?
What?
Should I pretend it was a 3?
The room crackles again, although this time you notice it is more substantial. It's hard to say what sense input you're actually getting here. If this static is a sound or like a visual flicker, or if it's even something just happening directly in your head. But whatever it is, it feels stronger this time. You feel like whatever this is still happening, and it's getting worse.
What happened when Blake fell with the ribbons of alternate reality?
They are still swirling around, and actually, now that you're looking, there might be more of it, and it is swirling faster. All right, that was top. That is Oryx's turn.
All right. Taking stock of the situation, Blake is down. I'm going to stand up and move over to the rod and help Cyrus to inspect it without touching it.
All right, make an Arcana check.
All right. Arcana, do not fail me now. It failed me.
Arcana fails.
6.
You think you should probably poke that iron section.
Cyrus holds her hand.
All right, Lexi, what do you want to do?
I don't even know. Gosh. Honestly, I think I kind of want to inspect a little bit more because he's down, so he's not a threat, but at the moment. But I'd like to kind of see what's around him, especially since, I didn't get as good a glimpse as earlier.
All right. Are you wanting to do sort of a quick glance or more of like a systematic inspection?
Probably more of a systematic inspection.
All right. That'll be investigation, but it'll probably take you a couple turns to sort of really look through stuff in the room.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
So, roll. Ooh, 19.
Nice.
All right. You have a pretty good idea of sort of where interesting things would be in this room. And so you start sort of sifting through some of the magical items on the shelf and desk across the wall. And you'll find out more about it next turn. All right. It is... actually, you all hear... Hey, what are you all doing in here? What is... And you look, and the storage attendant has followed you in and has just witnessed whatever this is happening in here. Y'all left the door wide open.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. I just shut it.
He looks very alarmed. He doesn't seem to actually have like a weapon, like in his hand, but he does seem to like have like a radio or something he's reaching for.
Cool.
All right, it is Cyrus's turn.
I want to mage hand, stow the rod in backpack, bag, something, and I'm gonna go over to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pulling my NBI badge and saying, "No offense, buddy. This is above your pay grade and looks like it's going to get dangerous fast."
All right, make a persuasion check with advantage.
Skedaddle, pokey.
12.
It slows him down for a second. He's not... This seems to be a theme with the two of you. He is not fully convinced with what's happening here. He's trying to take this in. You're still dressed as a college student. And he just saw Blake come in wearing those clothes, but now Blake is wearing different clothes and he's on the ground. Why are you wearing his clothes? What is... He's sort of short-circuited. He's not grabbing his radio, but by no means is he sort of disarmed at this moment. Honestly, it would probably have flown with a police officer, but this guy, like, is not part of the chain of command that knows what this should look like. Like, it is legit, but he doesn't necessarily know that. All right. It is Zyra's turn.
Yeah. Uh, um. So, what I want to do is stop the magic swirly stuff. So I want to look for the source of the magic swirly stuff.
All right. Make an Arcana check.
So 22 with a nat.
The source is Blake himself.
Well, shit.
This isn't like there's some ritual accoutrement around him, but whatever it is seems to be emanating from him.
Do I supposed to do any other checks, like a medicine check, to see if there's any like patching I can do without waking him up? Or is that more checks than I can do in a turn?
Let me take a look and just see what you have on you.
Oh, like here?
Well, I was thinking like what spells you have. Just from looking,
like I want to like, can I cast knock on the bastard? What?
If you were to just sort of thinking about what you've prepared, there's three things occur to you because you had a very good Arcana roll. You don't necessarily see a way of stopping this immediately.
Okay.
You do see that it is rapidly causing Blake's condition to deteriorate. Combined with the injuries he's just taken, he is in very, very bad shape and is getting worse. It's possible that you could heal him and at least stop him from immediately dying. But right behind that thought, you sort of suspect this might end if he dies.
Okay.
How fey is he?
Well, what percentage Fey is he now?
Honestly, he's looking like 50-50.
So, like, could we? What do you think happens if we try to brand the Fey half with the rod? Can we like command the Fey half to stop?
I want to try that.
All right. Who is going to attempt this?
Not me.
The mage hand.
I think it's me.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll say on this turn, you examine him, you sort of figure this out, you can relate it to the group. Cyrus, on your next turn, you'll be able to make an attempt to do something with the rod.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fair.
So he is still unconscious. We are back up at the top. Zyro, roll a d6.
No. 6.
Oh, this is going to be one of the weird ones.
Fun time.
Roll another d6.
4.
All right. And one more d6.
4. 3.
All right. There is another flicker, and this time there's a crack. You actually see a section of this sort of window into another place. It's like it suddenly solidifies and it's just hanging in air. Like from a side view, you wouldn't even be able to see it. But when you see it from either side, you're looking through into that sunlit meadow again. Simultaneous with this, the energy in the room suddenly like pulses and crackles, and the security guard, Blake's unconscious body, and Lexi all levitate about 8 feet off the ground.
Lexi is not a fan of this.
All right.
Like short term or like permanently? Okay.
All right. It is Oryx's turn.
Yeah, well, that kind of changes my plans a little bit.
Somebody's got to get him down if I'm gonna brand him.
No, you can do it with a mage hand.
Oh no, that's right. I can fly it up.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
There you go.
All right. So just 8 feet off the ground. Does it look like they are continuing to go higher, or have they stopped there?
They're just kind of like bobbing.
Okay.
Almost like they're riding on like an invisible ocean surface.
Okay. I am going to, as calmly as possible, start to approach the security guard.
Hey, whoa, what?
Meanwhile, I am also taking my paracord bracelet off and tying it around my flashlight. And as you can see, sir, we are in a rather magically volatile situation. And for your own safety, I would like for you to exit the building. I will help you with that. Just catch the flashlight.
I'm going to roll an athletics check for him.
God, I hope he can catch.
He cannot. He gets a 7 total. He's like flailing for it, but it's kind of like when have you ever put like socks or boots on a dog or cat? He's got a little bit of that going on, like very stiff limb. Like I feel like I'm gonna fall. I don't know what's going on, and you fling it up, and it and rolls across the ground.
Try again.
Luckily, this is one of those durable flashlights.
We'll continue to Lexi. What's Lexi doing?
So Lexi's just floating around, but she's gonna try and continue doing what she's doing because she's been with these people long enough to know that eventually things will get back to normal, and she just has to kind of roll with the punches right now.
All right. So actually, you rolled a very good investigation check. Right before this effect goes off, you reach down and you kind of look through. There is a little bit of an obsessive organizational mind at work here. You're not super familiar with how these books are classified, but you can kind of gather that all of these purloined arcane materials have been arranged sort of by difficulty and school of magic. But you see that very old tome that you saw in that picture is the last one, almost sort of set off by itself. And you manage to get a hand on it just as you, whoop, 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 whoop. And so you are holding this book as you are up in the air.
Fun.
All right, we'll keep rolling. Cyrus, what are you trying with the rod?
So I'm gonna
Manipulate that sucker.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna. Can I've seen where the sigil is, right? Where we've seen the brand, where on the rod that branding spot is.
When you examined it, it does seem like it's been sort of etched into the very end of this piece of iron.
Okay. Yeah. Then I want to try to mage hand up and stick that brand on a patch of skin that looks extra golden.
All right. Make a Arcana check.
$18.
18.
Wow.
You feel the rod almost has like a loose sentience to it, and you feel like there's multiple layers. And if you were to spend more time with it, you might sort of learn or hear different things from it. But one of the first things you notice is that the rod wants to be used. It wants to be easy to be used. And so even with the tenuous connection of your mage hand on it, you can feel almost sort of like practical instructions flowing into you from the rod. Just like a gentle whisper. And as you pour your will into it and you bring the rod closer and closer to Blake, you see that sigil on his hand, that silver is glowing brightly. And actually, you can see that it almost looks like he's wearing like an elbow-length glove, where that radiant flesh is emanated out from this symbol. And the rod gets closer, and you can see that fiery, smoky, oily iron glow gets closer and closer to the silver. And there's one more, and you all are now in a green, sunlit meadow. It's beautiful. It feels like a warm summer afternoon. There's a gentle breeze that is blowing the smell of wildflowers and fruit trees, and you can see there's this big opening around you of these just probably fairly tall grasses that are just sort of gently blowing in the breeze. And out beyond it, you see these beautiful green forests. And there are large stones have been like sunk into the earth, describing like a rough circle around the place you all are standing. and Blake is still there hovering.
Did we bring the security guard?
The security guard seems to have been left behind.
Okay.
And Oryx, you can tell immediately this is not a demand like you saw with the Dryad. This is fairy. And very specifically, this is a section of the lands of summer. This is Sealy court territory.
Awesome.
Welcome to my home.
Zara's ears start to grow points. No one really notices it.
Yeah, you all
But it-
kind of have weird reactions to this that are probably new. So Zyra, you feel... Does Zyra even, like, know that that's specifically happening?
No.
So you just feel this weird, almost like tingling running through your body. And it's almost like a radio out of tune. You're catching little bits of something, like a song on the air that you can almost hear. Oryx, it's not as dramatic for you. This is fairy. Like you're almost more caught up in the like practicality of like, what does this mean? Where are we? What happens if someone finds us here? This is really bad and ridiculous.
And ridiculous.
Cyrus, you feel... Well, I'm going to have you make an insight check on yourself.
7. It's not a strength.
You have this conflicted welling up of emotion, some positive, some negative. You feel a lot of things about being here, and you almost feel like it's separate from you. It's not your sort of conscious mind absorbing the things around you and then like responding. There's almost like something deeper is speaking insistently but unclearly to you. Lexi, you feel totally fine. And actually, the rest of you see Lexi is almost glowing a little bit. It looks a little bit like the vapor that comes off the ancient brewer's mallet. There's this sort of wafting golden amber light, just very faint. Like in the dark it would maybe be noticeable, but in this brightly lit meadow it's almost hard to see, and it's just sort of surrounding you a little bit, and you feel totally fine. Blake is twitching, and it's convulsive. And as he twitches, you actually start to see at first he's twitching sort of in the same direction, and then you see it almost splits, and the two separate beings are twitching in different directions, like they're layered over each other. And as the rod gets closer and closer, and it just sort of scrapes across this mark on his hand, he screams and his eyes come open, and you see that other thing pull away from him entirely and then just dissolve into mist. And there's another and y'all are back in the warehouse
With Blake?
with Blake.
Does he look fully human?
He looks fully human and very unwell. He is actually bleeding from a lot of places.
Okay. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
And I think we've run a little longer than usual. We're gonna stop right there and unpack all of this next time.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for thanks for sticking it out, and we will continue in this mystery of Alan Blake and this rod of iron next week.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Ending our stream. Bots, thanks for watching.